I would like to ask you, first of all, given CDRI's global footprint and origin in India, how do you see India positioning itself as a global infra resilience leader by 2028? And in addition to that, what foundational, institutional, or tech strengths you think India is bringing to table from CDRI's vantage point?
Thank you so much. And I'll pick up the words cooperation and coalition. And I'll start with two stories. The story of the super cyclone in Odisha in 1999, which killed about 10,000 people and which saw damage in the tune of several $billion. 2019, so Cyclone Fani, again in Odisha, saw less than 100 people killed, but property damage exceeded several $billion. That's one story. The second story I'll tell you about is I was in Amsterdam about 5 years ago for a conference, and I couldn't take the train from Amsterdam city to Schiphol airport because the temperature was 36 degrees. And I'm talking to a railway person in Delhi and saying, how do we deal with extreme heat? And he started giving me a whole slew of things that the Indian Railway has been doing to address extreme heat. Why do I highlight these two stories? The first one is really about our ability now to use technology to understand how climate change is impacting people has gotten really sophisticated. And it's something that we are now starting to export to the world. When you talk about early warning systems around the world, there's a huge need for technology, huge need to understand how to communicate to people, a huge need to understand how do you save lives, because precipitation patterns are changing, because cyclone patterns are changing, and that's all related to climate. We've already done that in India, and it's something that we really need to now build up the capability to offer to the rest of the world. But the second part of that story is where we continue to lose property because of climate-related activities. When you add up the cost of that damage, it actually can put a dent on our development trajectory. We did a report about a year and a half ago where we calculated that globally, we lose about $800 billion of infrastructure every year because of all of these hazards, and that's going to get worse because of climate change. Now we are sitting at a place where we have to build an incredible amount of infrastructure. If we can figure out how to do it right, if we can figure out how do we combine resilience and infrastructure together, we can show that to the rest of the world. We still have to build something like 20 new Bombays of infrastructure just to address our urban need. If we can get that right, the whole African continent is still waiting to develop, right? So to me, the opportunity today is really, can we bring the focus on adaptation, focus on resilience as the development narrative, as part of our development story? If we can do that right, and collaboration is important. I see Professor Tripathi sitting here from IIT, who's focused on AI in cities, use of AI in cities to address environmental issues in cities. If we as a coalition can bring his expertise to the 65 members of CDRI, that's the coalition and cooperation that we're creating.